Morning, all. Thought of concluding yesterday's topic with a small shortcut because we all love to have shortcuts. We all like to see the shortcuts. So I thought of giving the conclusion to the physiology of nerve impulse conduction in a small shortcut way, or we can say it as a conclusive way, so that we can easily identify the answers to question in the NEET exam. So I should say this as a shortcuts video, right? So a small conclusion to this topic. Now, when you want to observe a total topic in a simple way, you can start using a table. So I'll just put a table where you can understand of every topic of this conduction. So first we'll start with the columns like the condition, of the membrane. What do you call that potential difference at that condition? So what do you call the potential difference? Which word, which name we use? Then I'll give you the potential difference value. So how much value will be there during that condition of the axonal membrane or the nerve, and then we'll discuss the position of channels. So what is the position of channels? We'll also discuss in this one. So one by one we'll start. First, generally we all know the nerve will be in what condition? It will be in the polarized condition. So in polarized condition, what do you call the potential difference? It is called as resting membrane potential. So what do you call it? It is called as resting membrane potential. Now what is the potential difference value in that particular resting membrane potential? It is minus 70 millivolts. And regarding channels, what is the condition of the channels? If you observe, we have the sodium channels which are closed. So I should say it as closed. We have potassium channels which are always open. Remember this condition, we have potassium channels which are always open, and the potassium ions will be moving across the concentration gradient. And we have the sodium potassium pump, ATPase pump. Sodium potassium ATPase, which is working. So this is the condition during polarized state. Now coming to next condition, what is the next one called? Next one, it is called as depolarized state. But first we'll discuss the initial stages, because where the depolarization will start, then we'll go for the final stage. So depolarization or the depolarized state in the initial conditions, what do you call the potential difference? That is called as threshold. So it is all called as threshold potential, or we can say threshold stimulus. So how much is this threshold stimulus? This is around minus 55 millivolts. That means if it crosses this minus 55, then it can go for the spike potential or the spike action potential. Now in this condition, what is the condition? The Na plus will open up. The Na plus channels will open up. Obviously potassium will be opened. So we'll have potassium which is open, but we'll have the influx of the sodium ions. So what the problem here is, we'll have the rapid influx. So the sodium ions will be coming into the cytosol. And the main point is sodium potassium pump will stop working. In this condition, the sodium potassium pump will stop working. So now the nerve impulse has been started. So now we will see what happens next. That is depolarization at the final stages, at the peak stages. I hope this is clear. Okay, so we will continue. So we have got two things there. One is the repolarization, and the other one is the depolarization starting stage. So the condition of the nerve impulse, the potential difference mean, the potential difference value, and the channels condition. So what is the condition of the channels? So now we'll go for the next third one, that is depolarization at the final stage. Depolarized at the final stage. So what is the potential difference name here? It is called as action potential. Action potential, or we can call it as spike potential. What is the value of spike potential? Spike potential value is around plus 30 millivolts. In the cytosolic region we are discussing. We are not discussing ECF. In the cytosolic region we are discussing. So the channels, if you see, the potassium will be open. Obviously, here main point we discussed, the sodium channels are open and there is rapid influx. There is rapid influx of the sodium ion. This is the most important point in this condition. Then what about the potassium channels? Potassium channels are also active, but they are not that much sending out the potassium out. So it will be sending out along the concentration gradient, so it will be working, but in this condition we will be concentrating on the sodium ion channel. And obviously the sodium potassium pump will be stopped. So they will be stopping on the sodium potassium pump. So remember, potassium ion channels are always open in the total nerve because they are permeable, total condition. But the point is, how much sodium is dominating it. So in the depolarized state, sodium will be dominating. Okay, then what state will have? We'll have the repolarization state or repolarized state or repolarization condition, we can say. So there is no specific name for this one, but we have value. That means it will come from plus 30, it will come down from plus 30 to minus 70 again. So it will come down from plus 30 to the minus 70. Then what we'll do is, we will observe the channels. What are the channels present here? Okay. So what are the channels working actually? So what happens here is, at that point of time, the sodium will close. The sodium potassium channels will close. Sodium channels will close. Which are voltage gated channels. The potassium will open, but here the point is there will be efflux. That means the potassium ions will move more. Efflux of the potassium ions. So potassium ions are moving out very much faster, creating this negative potential difference. And obviously the sodium potassium pump will work. So sodium potassium will also be working continuously except on that depolarized state. So now we have the last one, which is called as hyperpolarized state. Hyperpolarized or hyperpolarization state. There is no name for this one also, but we have a value of minus 90 millivolts. The value is how much? Minus 90 millivolts. Now in this condition what happens is, potassium ions would have gone out more than required. So Na plus will keep closed. There is no change in that point. Na plus will be closed, kept closed condition. But the potassium ions have gone out more than the limit. So potassium efflux is the highest. So we have the highest potassium efflux. Okay. So the potassium efflux is the highest in this condition. So I just write above this point, the hyperpolarization. Again I write above because I don't think it's visible. So I write here. So coming to the last one, that is hyperpolarization again. So hyperpolarized state, what happens here? There is no specific name for it, but what is the value? It reaches minus 90 millivolts. Now here what happens, the channels, obviously the sodium will be closed. It don't open up again till the next stimulus. Potassium is opened obviously, but here the efflux is at peaks. efflux is at peaks. So the potassium ions efflux is at peaks. And sodium potassium will keep on working because it has to bring back the potassium inside. So sodium potassium pump will also be working. That's the main point. So if you observe this table, if you are able to put this table in your notes or something like that, you can easily answer all the questions regarding the conduction of the nerve impulse. And I want to conclude this conduction of nerve impulse with the main point about the condition of the ions inside and outside the cell. So I just want to say this, whether it is a nerve cell or any other cell, remember this point. So it may be a nerve cell, it may be any other cell. So these inside the cell, this is cytosol. So if you take the nerve, you can call it as axoplasm. Okay, or you can say cytoplasm or cytosol, whatever it is. So here we have the extracellular fluid. Extracellular fluid, ECF. So what we have to remember is always we'll have sodium ions here, and we'll also have sodium ions here. We'll have potassium ions here, and we'll also have potassium ions here. So the ionic presence is on both sides, but the concentration differs. The concentration differs thanks to the sodium potassium pump. So who is working here? The person who is working here is the sodium potassium pump. So this is the main working part of the cell, that is sodium potassium pump. I'll write it here, sodium potassium pump. So what will this sodium potassium pump do? Sodium potassium pump can send out 3 sodium ions. So this is 3 sodium ions, assume 3 sodium ions, they are sent out. In the same place, they can take 2 potassium ions in. They can take 2 potassium ions in. So these are the potassium ions, the red colors are. Okay. Now, how much concentration differs here? So if you observe the sodium of the cytosol and sodium of the ECF, the sodium of the ECF is 10 times more. The sodium ions of ECF is 10 times more than the sodium ions of the cytosol. And the potassium ions of the cytosol is 30 times more. It is 30 times more than the potassium ions of the ECF. So you are not comparing the concentration of potassium with sodium. You are comparing the concentration of sodium with sodium in the cytosol and the ECF, and the potassium with the potassium in the cytosol and ECF. So, but the main point is, why sir potassium is more inside the cytosol? Why the sodium is outside? First of all, thanks to the sodium potassium pump, obviously it is holding it and just releasing it out. But why the potassium is still staying? You know, we have potassium ion channels which are always open. So there is a chance that these potassium ion channels which are always open, they will keep on sending the potassium ions inside. So inside or outside according to the concentration gradient, inside or outside. But the point is, when the potassium ions come in, they are not left alone. So what happens here? Potassium ions are held by the negative proteins. So we have some negative proteins inside the cell. So all the cell contains these negative proteins. These potassium ions which are always permeable, which are coming in because of this sodium potassium pump. The potassium are coming in, sodium are going out. So potassium which are coming in are held by these negative proteins. That's why we have more potassium inside. And obviously we don't have sodium coming in. Sodium always goes out. That's why sodium is more outside. That is one of the main points. So the main one who is maintaining this ionic concentration is sodium potassium pump. So just concluding this, sodium of the cytosol is 10 times less than sodium of ECF, or we can say sodium of ECF is 10 times more than the sodium of cytosol, and potassium of cytosol is 30 times more than the potassium of the ECF. These very important point, don't get confused. So remember, potassium is more inside because potassium is permeable. We have ionic channels, permeable ionic channels, and the proteins will be holding it. The negative charge will be holding the positive charge. And the sodium can't come in because you don't have permeable channels. Sodium will be coming in only for the time of action potential. So it can't come in. So sodium always stays out. So outside the sodium will be more, 10 times more only, not more. It will be only 10 times more because no one is holding it here. Okay, we have to take in sodium through the salt. We have to keep it like that. So it is 10 times only more, but here it is 30 times more potassium. So keep in mind, you are comparing only potassium with potassium and sodium with sodium. That's the main point, and that's the shortcuts main, or you can say confusing points in this topic, the physiology of nerve impulse conduction. And that's for today. In the next video, I will tell you about the physiology of transmission of nerve impulse, how the nerve impulse will transfer from one nerve to another nerve. Thank you.